Hello, everybody. This is to our residents, to our family members, to our loved ones. It is Friday, May 22nd, so happy Friday. And before you say anything at all, I just want you to know I need a haircut. Of course, the entire country needs a haircut. I also know I need a haircut. And when Janet, my wife, is basically telling me, Larry, you need a haircut, I better go get a haircut. So in any event, nothing more need to be said about that. With respect to our communities, Venice and Palm Coast, all is well. It was a great week in both communities. So everything is just fine. And it was it was a fun week at both Tuscan Gardens of Venetia Bay and Tuscan Gardens of Palm Coast. We have our same guidelines and our same protocols in place. So nothing has changed in that regard. The Department of Health is in fact providing for mandatory testing. Palm Coast got tested on Tuesday, and Venice is going to be tested on Sunday. That is mandatory for all of our associates, and that's all senior living communities, not just ours. And it's voluntary for all residents, but we are certainly encouraging our residents to get tested. As a matter of fact, we wanted that all along, and it has been, as you know from the media, very difficult to get that type of testing. We have created guidelines and protocols. So in the event that somebody does get tested positive, sitting there asymptomatically, and we find out that they have been tested positive, we have the protocols in place to make sure that everybody stays safe. So be not concerned about that. As a matter of fact, infection control at the Department of Health actually just ended up doing an inspection over in Palm Coast for us, Tuscan Gardens of Palm Coast, and came back with really high accolades for how rigorous we are in making sure that our residents and associates are in fact staying safe. So kudos and congratulations to the Palm Coast associates for doing just a phenomenal job. ACA and the Department of Health have not opened up our dining facilities yet. And that holds true, again, not just for us, but for all senior living in the state of Florida. Do know that when they do, we have all of our SOPs in place, and we're going to be absolutely delighted to be able to bring our residents down, and it's going to be with appropriate social distancing and so forth. But in the meantime, we are having them with room service in their suites until such time as we can actually bring them down to enjoy our beautiful dining facilities, and also obviously open up the opportunity for greater socialization when that time comes. I will tell you that I am extremely delighted. It's been wonderful participation in our protected screen visitor program, where we bring the family members in based on appointments. So just call the communities for that. And they have the opportunity to be able to see their loved ones, not on a virtual screen, but in real life. And they can actually talk to each other. Our residents just find that to be so wonderful. So by all means, continue to pursue that. It's a great way to do it. You know, it's what would we prefer? It pulls on our heartstrings that our residents would love to be able to hug you and to be able to embrace you, but we can't do that yet. So our best opportunity is with the protected screen. So by all means, take participation seriously in that, because it's a wonderful opportunity for you to connect. Speaking of participation, our Life Bio program is going extremely well. If you remember on a number of these videos, I told you that it's the opportunity for both you and the residents to be able to capture their life story, an incredibly rich life story, as you can imagine, and to be able to supplement it with photos and so forth. It's at our expense. It doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost residents any money at all. We're footing the bill for that. So please take advantage of that. We've got a dozen right now in each of the communities in circulation. They're either being written or they're accumulating information and photos. But I will tell you that we're getting the stories now that they're being completed of residents who get it in their hands, and they have an opportunity at that point to be able to see it and to read it and to reflect on what that looks like, to see their lives on paper in front of them. So if you have not done that so far, please, by all means, I want you to participate in that program. We did admit our very first resident in 2.5 months. through strict CDC, but there's such a crying need, and we have had a list of individuals who wanted to come in, and we were not willing to do that at this time until now. CDC has specific guidelines. We have them tested. We have their doctors sign off, and we then put them in 14-day quarantine to make sure that they are fully quarantined before we allow them to even participate at any level, even with the masks and even on the walks or anything else. So we feel very comfortable with that. I do have to tell you, by the way, a congratulations to Nancy Meredith. I know for those of you in Palm Coast, you've had interactions with Nancy. She's been our acting ED for several months now. She's done an outstanding job, particularly at this COVID-19 time frame. So we have promoted her. She is now the executive director. And if you have not had a chance, feel free to just drop her a note or call her and congratulate her. And speaking of, by the way, Palm Coast, for all of you who attended the parade a week ago, Friday in Palm Coast, it was fantastic. We had something like 70 cars, and Janet and I went up there, and we were in the convertible, with a sign and all of that. I just had to tell you, the entire time, both of us had tears in our eyes and this incredible, joyful smile. But the residents loved it, the family members loved it, and it was just fantastic. The one in Palm Coast was on Friday, the one in Venice was on Monday, and exactly the same. So just thank you for those of you who participated. We loved it, and if you have not had a chance to see it on social media, please go on Facebook and take a look, because both of them will bring tears to your eyes at how fantastic and just absolutely wonderful they both were. I think that's about it for the week. I'll be talking to you next week, but just know that I am so honored. Our entire leadership team at Tuscan Gardens is so honored, and we are so committed to making sure our residents and our associates stay safe. And just know that on behalf of Janet and myself, the entire leadership team, the wonderful associates which we have, we wish you God's blessings. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.